7 nights in a row, American bombers have hit Iran. And this is not the same fight that started back in 2025. This time, Washington is not sending a warning shot. It is running a sustained campaign, night after night, with no end in sight. So how did a single midnight strike turn into an open war that shut down one of the world's most important shipping lanes? Rewind to June 22, 2025, when 7 American B-2 bombers crossed into Iranian airspace under total darkness. They dropped 14 bunker-buster bombs on 3 nuclear sites, Fordow, Natanz, and Isfahan, in an operation called Midnight Hammer. The White House called it a total success, claiming Iran's nuclear program had been completely and totally obliterated. But a leaked intelligence assessment told a different story. The strikes had only set the program back by a few months. And nobody could account for 400 kilograms of enriched uranium that Iran had quietly moved before the bombs ever landed. 8 months of uneasy quiet followed, until February 27, 2026, when the president authorized a second operation. Operation Epic Fury struck the next morning, and this time the target was not just infrastructure, it was Iran's supreme leader himself. Ali Khamenei was killed in the opening strike, and within hours Iran answered with hundreds of missiles and thousands of drones. The retaliation hit American bases and embassies across the entire Persian Gulf, from the UAE to Qatar to Bahrain and beyond. Hisab joined days later, and what began as a strike on nuclear facilities became a full regional war in under a week. Inside Iran, mass protests against the regime were met with a brutal crackdown that human rights monitors say killed thousands. Here is why this war never stayed contained. On March 4, 2026, Iran closed the Strait of Hormuz entirely. That single waterway carries a quarter of the world's seaborne oil and a fifth of its natural gas every single day. The International Energy Agency called it the largest oil supply shock in recorded history, and prices spiked almost overnight. Gas hit $4 a gallon, currencies wobbled, and nations that rely on that strait for food saw their imports collapse. 70% of food imports into the Gulf states were disrupted, turning an energy crisis into a hunger crisis as well. A fight over 3 nuclear facilities in Iran had become a grocery and gas pump crisis on the other side of the planet. Which brings us to right now. This week alone, the United States has carried out 7 straight nights of new strikes. American bombers hit bridges near Bandar Abbas, the port city guarding the entrance to the strait, along with military targets nearby. Iran has not backed down either, striking a power plant in Kuwait and hitting oil tankers directly inside the strait. Qatar and Jordan have both taken Iranian fire aimed at American assets stationed nearby, and the region is bracing for more. The White House says the goal is simple: protect the shipping lanes and make Iran pay a price for firing on vessels. Watch the pattern. In 2025, the strike lasted 25 minutes. In 2026, it has run 7 nights straight. 3 things to watch now: the missing uranium, the fate of the strait, and whether a cornered regime negotiates or doubles down. Wars that start over nuclear weapons rarely stay that way. They become wars over oil, over borders, and over who blinks first. This is still an active, developing war. And these numbers may already be out of date by the time you're watching. At Vaultline Works, we break down the wars shaping the world right now. Subscribe if that's what you came here for.